insane. Hold on. All right. Well, welcome everybody. As you know, we are getting to know our speakers. So this is day 3 or speaker number 9, 12, 11, however they wrap it all together for y'all. I hope that you're sitting and enjoying and listening in. And the mission behind these Get to Know Your Speakers is that you don't have to be viewing it. You can kind of be listening to it. And it just gets you a little bit excited. So if you're an attendee, you're already attending, it's June and it's going to be July when you're probably looking at some of these. You're going to be overly excited to get ready to meet us all in St. Louis in November. And if you're new and you're a new member or you're just visiting the channel, wanting to know what ABC is all about, these speakers are going to help drive home the importance of ABC. Now, this is not a sales pitch to join ABC, but this is a sales pitch to join us for this conference. Because I make no mistake about it, you want to have your butts in the seat in St. Louis in November. The new ownership, the new leadership, Jennifer is part of all of that, and bringing committees together, have done the most amazing job. And Erin and her committee for this conference, there are new things, there's new elements that are not found, let's be honest, at any other conference. And this is a way that you're not going to just learn from speakers, but they have created so much moments, those aha moments that happen between the speakers, that you're going to be able to sit at a table with somebody and walk away building a new connection, a new friendship, and you won't feel alone. Because if you're asking a question about self-doubt, if you're struggling with, man, I'm just not booking, friends, newsflash, you're not the only one. In a group of like-minded individuals that will be attending this conference, from the new, maybe you haven't been to a conference before, maybe you're in year 1, 2, or 3 in your business, to those that are in 40 plus years, the gamut spreads amongst education, amongst experience, and amongst those who have built a career that they're passionate about. Jennifer is one of those talented ladies who is all over the place. She not just does her own chapter, but she's the chapter at large. So many of you might see her faces and know her name. But for those of you who don't, you're in for a real treat. I'm going to dive in some questions. And just for the record, these questions, they don't know. They don't know what's coming, but I'm not going to make them cry. However, I am known to do that for some of my interviews. But today, I want to welcome Jennifer, and we're going to dive in. I'm going to put you on the hot seat real quick. Put on your ABC chapter hat. Put on your ABC member at large hat. Why do people, we're going to dive in, why do they need to have a ticket for this year's conference?
If you feel like you're missing something in your business, if you're just missing something in your life in general, this is a great opportunity. I've gone to lots of different conferences all over the world, and I keep going back to ABC every year. It is the only one I go back every year. Others I go back every couple of years because they're kind of the same or they have the same format, but this one is always unique. It's always different. It always has new material. We're always some of the first ones to get the material, even if some of the speakers say some of the stuff at other shows, we're usually the first ones that roll it out because, again, we're one of the oldest associations in the entire world when it comes to wedding and event planning.
And remind everybody coming from you, you don't have to be a planner to attend this.
No.
Explain a little bit about how they're going to go. Exactly. Explain a little bit about that.
So I'm actually a big believer in, as a planner myself, I can't do my job without all the other vendors. Constantly when someone comes to me and says, you did a phenomenal job today, I said, no, I didn't. My team did a great job, meaning my entire vendor team, my members in my own staff who may not be the owner of, Not Your Average Events, but they're showing up on wedding day and they're helping out. I want them to be members of ABC and learning that same information, because think of how powerful it could be if because right now, our world is not regulated. So there's no rules, there's no license. You don't have to have a certificate. You can just show up and say, hey, I became a professional wedding planner. It's going to be my first day. So with this continuing education opportunity, we're all learning the same thing. So we're all having the same code of ethics. So could you imagine DJs, entertainers, photographers, videographers, venue owners, all of us, florists, you name it, officiants, we've got a gamut of all of them a part of ABC. And the beautiful thing is we each learn something from one another to make our skill set better. I can be a better planner because I know how to prepare them for different services. And technically, I can save my vendors a lot of time because when they're working with me, they're not having to have to meet with a client as many times.
And I think that puts our clients at ease, because if you're the wedding planner, it's my whole 42-year career, you are the team leader. I get to work underneath your umbrella. And even though my name is on the door and I write lots of payroll checks, me and my team will follow the lead. You can't step behind the camera and take a photo, but you can set me up for success to do that. And conferences like this, when you get to sit with other people that are not just wedding planners, but that might be struggling, you might say, I never knew that about an officiant. I didn't know that was something that we might need. So you can tweak. And guess what? You now set up your business, your clients, you can offer, hey, you know what? I'm learning. I'm continuing my education. I just learned this at a conference. I'm going to make this easier for officiants. I'm going to save you a step. Officiants will enjoy you. Your colleagues will enjoy you. All in all, we're going to make this industry better, more impactful, and more profitable. Because as you said, there's no entry level. You can just put a shingle up. You can start a website. That's what hurts us in so many ways, because we can't seem to get a good core of people to stay. And they leave, Jennifer, because they're burnt out, because they're not following any practices. They don't have their affairs in orders. They don't have their business set up. So coming to this conference and having leaders like you in the ABC world, and then having you available to talk and seeing your energy and your enthusiasm, your passion, and your drive. If you follow Jennifer on social media, you see the woman never sits down. I'm surprised we had 30 minutes with her today. She's probably doing 5 other things underneath what we can't see, right? But that's the beauty of, you're going to get that as a leader. You're going to get that as a colleague. You're going to get that as an attendee at the conference. So that's the push. Get your tickets. And if you already have your tickets, we can't wait to see you there. And those that are thinking about it, trust us. I promise you're going to leave with an ROI, because you're not going to get all your problems solved and be more successful, but you're going to get the tools to become more successful by your definition. None of us are going to do the work for you, but get in this room of like-minded individuals who have fallen down, who have gotten back up, who have fallen down, who have gotten back up, and let us elevate, and let's help you make your industry, your little niche, so much better to be a bigger impact in the whole industry. So I appreciate all your work. That's my way of saying thank you for being you, and thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for bringing ABC to everybody and making accessible and available to everybody. Now let's dive into your talk. Why this talk? Stop dragging your boots. Get your affairs in order. Why did you feel this talk was relevant for 2024 conference?
Honestly, this is a talk that no one likes to talk about. No one likes to talk about what happens the day after tomorrow if I'm not here. And it really honestly started years ago when I lost one of my fellow wedding planners here in North Carolina. And I saw the struggles that their company, they had some things in place, but not nearly enough. She was newly married. It was she was only in the business for a couple years. So she was established, but not like serious roots into the ground established. And unfortunately, entrepreneurs, we're the last ones who unfortunately have time for savings or, that thing called insurance that people put off on the back burner because they're like, oh, we're good. We don't need that. But unfortunately, we do. Losing both my parents through the last 4 years, I have learned firsthand how when one person has things in order, and then one person doesn't. And my dad, unfortunately, was an entrepreneur who did not have anything in order. And so it's been a long, drawn out process. And I want to protect other people that have been going through what I'm going through with their parents, with their spouse, with themselves, and God forbid, their children. So I really want to set them up for success to make sure that their legacy lives way beyond what they're, leaving right now.
Well, and I think a lot of us got in the wedding industry because we felt that maybe when you're getting married, or maybe you did your sister's wedding, you saw that things weren't in place. So you thought, okay, I'm going to become that now, and I'll be able to do that. And then along the place, you didn't know that this was really a business, that this could be a career, and this could be a profitable career. Most of you know my mission is, if you're doing what you love, should be profitable, purpose, and bring you joy, right? So we know that those are things that are attainable. So this talk has really grown from personal experience, what you've been through. But I also think it tells the newbie, and I'm just using the word newbie, not saying anything about names. You don't put names on people, but a new person to the industry to think before they start something. They think and spend so much time to get that beautiful website. They're not thinking about, well, what happens if somebody actually clicks it? So this is a way to set up yourself so that you have a little peace of mind that you can grow. And so as you have went through this process personally and professionally, what's some of the changes? What's 3 key changes that you have made? And then maybe offer 3 changes or 3 key things that people need to come to get ready for your session? If they have a question about it, what's it need? Write it down, ask you now, get ready. What's 3 questions that they can bring to you? And what's 3 changes that you have implemented that you've seen this change work for you?
The biggest thing I did was when we lost Lee locally, I quickly went to the bank and added my assistant, the one I trusted the absolutely most with everything in my life. I added her to all my bank accounts because the business is still going to go on. So if you don't have someone else on your bank account, that's number one. That's one of the big things we will talk about is how assets are frozen, like completely frozen. So I would definitely suggest that one. I would also suggest having everything written down. I know they say don't write all your passwords in one place. You should write all your passwords down in one place and put it in a fire safe proof box. Someone knows where it's located at, because someone is going to have access to everything of yours if you're not here tomorrow. And that was one of the biggest things that I literally played Inspector Gadget for the last 2 years trying to figure out. So just knowing what all your assets are. That's the other big thing is what actually do you own or what loans you have out there? I think a lot of people, you're constantly taking out money for your business or buying cars for your business or, you know, any type of advertising and things that may be constantly on autopilot. What is on autopilot? These are all some of just the tips that I would recommend looking into and some of the things we're going to be talking about during my session to prepare yourself to making sure you're just really organized.
And if you don't have a question, you might touch on something that they're going to, oh my gosh, to think about it. Because just as you said, imagine being the owner and have even 1 year, let alone 20 or 30, and you've built up this amazing career. And all of a sudden you've got 10 or 12 clients that are going to be affected. And friends, newsflash, your clients don't care that you pass away. All right, who's doing the wedding? Who's doing what? Do I get a refund? While you might get a little bit of empathy, you can only go, well, hold on. And you send out that dreaded email or they make that announcement. Hey, so-and-so has just passed away. Be patient. No, they're not going to be patient. Friends, they're not patient when you were alive. They were emailing you and texting you. They want to know that you are there for them, right? So getting everything set up. And I might add to that a little bit about even if you don't think you're going to sell your business, if you don't have somebody in place that can literally take over, because the debt will still be coming, but you also can't pay anybody. So if you have just done a work on a Saturday and that account is frozen and something, God forbid, happens, you're not going to get a check because nobody can get in there. So those are amazing tips that, again, that nobody thinks of. And so as you prepare for this, and you dive in, how deep are you going to go? Like, you're going to give 10 points, 12 points. And is this something that you're going to continue to grow and be offering so you can, as part of your mentorship and teaching, is this something you're going to always be evolving with?
It has truly became one of my passions, unfortunately. And I feel like if you turn any negative into something passion and positive, then the struggle you went through, that is only your test for your testimony. So I'm a really big fan of taking all the struggles I've had these past 2 years and using it to help others. So that's the reason why I've been so vulnerable, why I've been so transparent on my social media. I've gotten a lot of flack for it. Some people say you're very vulnerable. And I'm like, well, I hope I am, because the DMs I'm getting about how people don't know how to handle it is telling me that we don't talk about this often. And, you know, having something in place. And that was one of the things also is because I'm an ABC member, I can guarantee you if something was to happen to me right now, like if all of a sudden I'm no longer here, Bobbi, I guarantee you there is 100 members across ABC that would fly in, drive in, and walk over to my office to make sure that KYE was okay. And that's one of the beautiful things about ABC. And that's one of the things I can put in my letter of agreements to my contracts, to my clients is, hey, your show will still go on. Cry for me today, cry for me tomorrow. But my team and the associations that I am lined with, they are going to make sure that we're set up for success and your event will still take place no matter what. So I think those are the big pieces. My goal is to, it won't go out until I big spiel in November. So you're going to have to be present before it goes public. But there will also be downloads on my website that you will be able to download to just put everything in place and kind of have an idea of how to take care of your estate. The order of operations. I've worked really, really closely with several attorneys during my process that I've learned a lot the hard way. And I don't want anyone else to struggle that way. So yes, I want this to be a conversation that we continue to talk about. And if someone wants to reach out and ask me questions, I want to be there for them to, again, grieve, because one of the biggest events I've ever done was one of my most fulfilling. I did a funeral for a celebration of life for a gentleman who was killed in a plane crash. And he was a public figure with a lot of public universities. And unfortunately, their family couldn't grieve because he had just been killed.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to put on that funeral for him. And it was 1,500 people who showed up to just the wake. So you can only imagine, having to handle all of that and all of the processes on the back end. It's a lot. And
we book, and many of us are always planning, okay, I want to book at least 18 months out. My career was always 18, 24 months out. So most of us, get to the point where, hey, we want to know what we're doing in 24. We want to try to know what we're doing in 25. Hey, some of us might be getting 26 inquiries. How far away do I go? And as somebody who used to live in the hurricane market, we didn't go too far out, because you just never know. And I always have found it amazing that when I have some consultations in and out of the industry, that I will see clauses in contracts that are asking, what are you wearing to my event? What is your team dressing like? But yet it never asks, what happens if something happens to you? Like, we take so much on that front end that how are we going to show up? How are we going to appear? And we promise the moon. But then we don't set up our team or our family, because I guarantee you, the minute I've done this for photographers where they have been killed in a car accident on Thursday, and the wife is going, Bobbi, they're calling me like crazy. And this is where I put the disclaimer in. Neither myself or Jennifer are attorneys. We don't even play one on TV. We are just trying to help you get set up so that these are the things that you don't think of. Again, it's not going to solve your problems, but my gosh, Jennifer, to be able to set up a download for just people, the things that they probably haven't even thought of, a checklist, again, just as a testament to the human that you are and the caring giver that you are for all of us in the industry. So kudos to you for that. So I want you to share a little bit. We might have some new people listening in, but I also want to put you on the hot seat. Those initials that are behind your name, how important are they to your clients? And then explain a little bit about why they were important for you to have.
Well, for me, I come from the age that I love titles and I love accomplishments, and I love being able to say, I can offer my guests, my clients, my couples XYZ because I have 25 years of experience, because I have a master's in event management for rec management. So I can do team building for my corporate clients. I love being able to say I am one of 54 master wedding planners in the entire world, because with that says that I come with experience and knowledge that is unlike pretty much 99% of the entire world. So I bring a little something extra, and that you can trust me. Really, what those letters are, those 5 letters on the end of my word, they're not MWP, MS, they're TRUST. That's
exactly.
What they are.
Exactly. And how much of that has played a role with your clients? Like, do you have clients say, oh, what is that? I know your bio and everything you read says it, but if I'm going to spend any amount of money, why would I not go to somebody who has literally took this education, who has made a career out of it? Because I bet you people didn't even know that we have the easiest entry, but then we have these wonderful certifications that really are true to ABC, right? And so it's like an oxymoron. It doesn't make any sense. Come in, but then if you want to do something, you do something, but you don't need to. How important, and do you see a difference in your clients? Do they really go, okay, those initials, I totally trust you at whatever budget? It doesn't matter if you're entry level or you're luxury, those initials carry some weight, and your clients are rewarding you with that by booking you. Is that how you found that to be?
I mean, with the letters, yes. Unfortunately, I don't think the world is knowledgeable enough of what those little letters stand for, or what all of my credentials are. When you see my accolades on my wall, that's the reason why I love meeting my clients in my office, right? Because then they see my wall of accolades and they know, again, that I'm not just blowing smoke, that I'm actually who I say I am. And with that information, especially if I'm at a wedding show or a trade show or any type of open house with clients or potential clients, when I say some of the things I am, the look on their face, you kind of go, oh, Now, again, I may not be the cheapest thing in the room. I'm usually the most expensive thing in the room, but I like pretty shiny, expensive things personally. So it kind of works for my favor. But at the same time, I can back up why I am valued and priced what I'm priced at because of what I bring to the table that day. And the really big thing is having that knowledge and that experience. It's really, you're hiring me not because of the knowledge that I bring before, it's the what ifs. I know how to handle the situation if something turns ugly very quickly on a dime. And that's really what those letters are all about. And I truly believe that if we as an industry start having those marks more and we start educating the client and the industry more, then they're going to want that professional. Yes, we all started somewhere. Trust me. I started 25 years ago, charging a few $100 when I worked at a venue. And now with certifications, every time I get more educated about something or certified on a certain topic or a certain item, that means I'm now higher certified and a better level to offer services to them. So I think that's important. My favorite thing is when someone gets my email and they go, and they meet me in person, they're like, oh, I saw all your accolades underneath your name. Holy Manoli, what don't you do? And I was like,
exactly,
a little bit of everything.
And you can see from this interview that she's approachable, that they are not conceit, right? They are hard work, trust initials. Explain a little bit about how a new person can go. And do you have to be a member to take these tests, to take these accreditations? Explain a little bit of how the process works and when you think somebody should start that process.
So yeah, I think I have a lot of people that DM me, that message me, or I see on social media posts trying to just get started and kind of drowning in what to do and where to go because they love the idea and they think they'll be passionate about it. Joining associations is going to be step one. That's just getting you a foundation to learn what's out there. And there's tons out there. I'm not saying that you have to go ABC. I would love for you to go to ABC, especially with me being the director of members of large. Please come to ABC.
Exactly.
But I'm actually a member of multiple associations, not just ABC, because I learned a little something different from each one. So I am a big believer that, getting that certification, and make sure it's a qualified, accredited certification. Make sure they're doing some type of test. Make sure they're doing some type of project, program, something that's hands-on that you're having to learn a little something, not just a online quick and quiz go, that's it. You really want to make sure it's something you're really, really learning. And then as you move up to professional, accredited, and then of course, masters, it's meaning that you are a master just means I'm a well-rounded planner in the world, meaning I don't only have the education and the experience, but I also give back to the industry. I'm a professor. I'm an author of a book. I also am a speaker for, different guest speaking roles. I am also someone who gives back to the community. I don't always just take, I'm always pouring into the cup as well. I'm not always just taking withdrawals from it. So that's really what it's all about. And you can start it anywhere, and it's going to take time. Remember, I've been doing this for 25 years. Bobbi, you've been doing it for a couple of decades.
40, yeah.
So again, you're not going to get all of those pretty letters tomorrow, but start small. One of the biggest things I tell my students or anyone I'm mentoring is you can eat an elephant 100%, one little bite at a time. All right. And so I'm going to highly recommend is take a bite. Just go ahead and jump in. Do your research. Where do you feel like at home? For me, ABC feels like home to me. While I get a lot of education from other places as well, because I want to make sure what I'm learning from one place is legit. And I think you should do that as a professional, is to make sure that you are getting a well-rounded education and network of knowledge. But if you are, getting those little bits here and there, that's how you become a successful. And do it in all things. Shadow photographers, shadow lighting companies, shadow florists. Being able to make a boutonniere on the whim is a huge little thing. Being able to make a centerpiece when you have a budget-friendly bride, that's a beautiful thing to be able to offer those clients, because that means not all my weddings have to be luxury. That means sometimes I can give some pro bonos throughout the year to really give back to someone who may be coming back from, a deployment, or someone who may be a part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'm allowed to give that as an owner, but because I have a knowledge and that skill, I can also pull in my resources to make it worthwhile, not only for me, but for others in the industry too.
And because you've set your business up to be able to do that. We all started business, to make money, but we also need to start a business to make an impact. And the same thing, when we do well, we can do good. And that's what events are all about. That's what weddings are about. It's about passion and feelings. If there's somebody that's wanting to come to the conference, Can I take my certification? Can I start my certification there? And then that's part one. And part two is I'm brand new and I'm not yet a member. Do I seek out my state representative or seek out you? Give that tip for that first person that's coming, because they're going to find it overwhelming, but they're also going to find it very welcoming. So touch on those two questions for me.
You are always welcome to reach out to me 110%. Even if I'm not your state manager, I will listen. I will be that sounding board. I'll be your biggest cheerleader. As your member, your director of membership at large, I will be that person for you, because I am over 41 states, all of the Caribbean and Canada. So I've got pretty much of the world kind of in my pocket, as I like to say. But yes, if you do have a state manager, I can get you in contact with that state manager. I can get you in contact with Monica, who's over our state managers. I can get you over to Nicole, who's our office rep. She is amazing to answer any questions about the industry and resources as well, if I'm not available. But yes, let's get you connected to who is in your state, or maybe a pods leader, because we just started those. And that's for professional opportunities to develop success. That's what the pods stand for, is we're really looking to develop you to create successful leadership opportunities for our members, and of course for growth as well. Yep. If you're just joining us, if you're thinking about coming out to our ABC conference in November, yes, you can become a member. You can start in as a registered member. Come out. You're going to get a ton of information. You're probably going to be overwhelmed, and that's okay. Take it in as take little bits as you can, and focus on what's most important to you. Come to conference with our itinerary. Say, hey, I want to focus on social media. I want to focus on my design. I want to focus on marketing. I want to focus on my business. Come with a purpose, and that way you can kind of make sure your conversations are kind of going towards that as well. Do I need resources for systems to put in place? Do I need to know what the trends are? Do I need to have to market? So depending on where you are in your business and what you're wanting to grow, that's a good thing to go. Now, as for coming and starting your certification, we have teamed up with a group called Longevity. They are amazing. So Longevity, they have all these courses. If you go to our website, you can link over and see what some of those are. Everything from corporate planning, event planning, travel planning, design, wedding planning, you name it, they've got it. We also are partnered with Penn Foster. Penn Foster is another one that you can do your education through as well. So there's a couple of different opportunities that you can get our certification through to become a certified wedding planner. And they also have different things for vendors too. So it's not, again, just for wedding planners, it's for ABC. We are Association of Bridal Consultants. That means we all are consulting at some way, some form, or some shape. It's all the same stuff. Let's be real. It's just us planners, we're over all the logistics of everything, not just one service. So we want to know your services too, to become better at what we do.
And I'll add to that as we wrap up, as McKenna's getting ready to join us. But I want to wrap up with also take a look at somebody you want to meet. I would say find 3 people. Doesn't have to be speakers, but 3 people, maybe outside your market or somebody's work that you admire. And then go ahead and set up. Kathy has done an amazing job of making you available with all the Instagram handles. Reach out. I've been telling everybody, this is your opportunity. Get into the DMs of the speakers. Go ahead and ask a couple questions. Start that relationship building. But then do the same thing with the 3 people that you might want to meet. Come with that itinerary. Here's the 4 things I need to work on. Here's the 5 things I need to work on. And then go find 3 people that might be outside your comfort zone that are doing something that might challenge you. We learn a lot when we step outside our comfort zone and step outside our normal circle. So go out and come with those 3 people, set up in DMs and let the people know, hey, I would love to have that 10-minute coffee. Let's break up over here, or let's go to dinner at some point. The new leadership, the new ownership, all the committees have done an amazing job. There is a lot of time built in for that networking so that you get to enjoy this industry with those that bring that passion with you.
And Bobbi, you said that real quick before you jump into your next thing. My biggest thing is don't sit with the same people every day and
exactly.
Really move around. It took a long time for my members in North Carolina to learn that I love them, but I can have lunch with them down the street.
Exactly.
So I am constantly like a social butterfly. You'll usually never see me sit at the same table or the same people. So I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing. Get to know the people around you. Bring lots of business cards. Be ready to shake lots of hands. So if you're germophobic like me, lots of hand sanitizer. It's okay. I'm a hugger too, by the way. So if you see me at conference, come give me a big hug. I would love to just embrace you to the ABC family and welcome you. And I hope to see you in November.
Exactly. So get your tickets. Again, this is the push. We want your butts in the seats, not for us and not for our egos, but so that you can walk out inspired and motivated. If you have not realized Jennifer is a ball of energy, she is somebody you want to meet. Applause go out to her for all that she does, her endless commitment to ABC. She can't wait to welcome you. I can't wait to see you in St. Louis. So get your tickets and we will see you all. We will meet you all in St. Louis. Thank you, Jennifer.